Welcome and welcome back to the Corite Hangouts. This is the second edition, and we're just getting started, and we're getting better and better all the time. And I'm happy to be here. And with me today, I'm proud to announce that I have Vincent Weckström, who is a co-founder and project manager from the NFT product development and product production studio of NFTs. They've also been covering the NFT market and the NFT scene for several years, I would say. So I would claim that Vincent is one of the most sort of read up people on the NFT market in this region, Scandinavia and Sweden in particular. So yeah, very welcome. And maybe you can introduce yourself a bit better. But
Thank you, Mattias. Thank you. Yes, so indeed, my name is Vincent. I'm the co-founder and CEO of NORN, a product and creative studio within Web3, and we mostly focus on NFTs, as Mattias said, and we work towards customers, helping them integrate the technology and understand the technology and the benefits for them. And then we also develop our own products, and we have quite a big focus on media as well. So I think you covered everything there.
Sort of, but not perfect. So yeah, so this is pretty much the whole purpose of these hangout session from Corite. We want to hang out with people that knows stuff better than ourselves. And as you know, Corite, we're this fan funding and fan power platform that helps primarily music artists to work closer with their fans. We're very much into technology and also into blockchain and NFTs. So I would say the purpose of this session today is to tell you guys out there a bit more about NFTs, what it's all about, why you actually should bother, and then have a short discussion about around some sort of success cases that we have seen the last couple of years. Because I think it's all about, we're in a very early development stage, but there are several great opportunities for both artists in the music scene, but also artists in other spaces like visual creators and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely time to start talking more about this new technology and teaching more people and how to get started. So yeah, that's the main reason for us having this call today. So maybe we should start with try to define this. So Vincent, could you give me your definition of what actually is an NFT?
Sure. That's always a good place to start. And we might have to even take it one step back to fully understand it. But let's start with NFTs and what they actually are. So NFTs are merely a technical standard. Now, I know that sounds really boring and dry, but it's actually what it is. It's a technical standard for creating unique goods on a blockchain. Really boring, I know.
So what does it mean, NFT? What is it?
It stands for non-fungible token. And fungibility, as you might have heard before, is basically exchangeability of something. So $1 will always be worth another dollar. They're therefore fungible. But a piece of art, a song, a painting is not equally worth another piece of art ever. So hence they are non-fungible. And that's why art, music, and the creative space have found such a fast product market fit for NFTs, or maybe the other way around. NFTs have found it in the creative space because people create so many unique things. And the token, I do believe that terminology basically comes from the fact that before there were NFTs, we had fungible tokens, which you probably have heard of as cryptocurrencies. And you know that one Bitcoin is always worth another Bitcoin, even though they are separate tokens. So the continued use of the token terminology, I think, has come into.
Okay, so the thing here is like, this is a thingy that is pretty close to a Bitcoin or like technology-wise.
Yeah.
But it's only one. It's not like there's not two of the same like kind of thing. So what is like? Exactly. Why should you bother? Why is that a good thing?
Basically, I would summarize it as you should care because it allows you to own your unique creations on the internet, like actually own them, not only own them on someone else's server, because then you're living on borrowed time, but you can actually own them. It doesn't matter, if this website shuts down or this platform shuts down, you will still own them. So for example, then let's say, you have a great Instagram profile with a really nice feed, but imagine if your account gets blocked, that all of that is gone. All your followers are gone, your interactions are gone, what you uploaded is gone. And basically with NFT technology, it's possible to eternalize these type of online creations.
That's interesting. But basically you could arguably NFT whatever. It's like you mentioned like digital art or a song or something which is pretty digital to its nature.
Yeah.
But as this is like a piece of technology, so it's basically a fancy kind of receipt on something that proves ownership to you. So potentially you could NFT your car. Would you just like the proof point that that's my car, and then you can sell the NFT and with goes the car or whatever? Is that also possible, like to NFT stuff, which is like related to other things than just the pure digital asset?
Yeah, 100% it's possible. I think personally that there's still a way to go to actually tokenize physical goods like cars or watches or whatever in a truly trustless and transparent manner.
Yeah.
But it's definitely possible. And I think that's why it's easier with digital goods, because they inherently live on the internet, and hence you can link them to NFTs basically forever, because you can't really change the composition afterwards. So it will always be linked to an online item.
Right.
And to kind of just maybe take it one step backwards, we're not going to really go into blockchains and stuff, but what's really important to understand is that blockchains are essentially protocols, and such as basically the internet itself or the email protocol SMTP. And then what's the difference between a protocol and an app? Well, a protocol is more so a public good that is there to stay and robust in such a sense that no central authority can delete it or tamper with it. It just exists, and we're not going to go into how that works, but that's the most important thing to understand about blockchains, is that it's not a business, a central entity, it's not governed by a group of people, it's a protocol, and it will basically survive a nuclear war. We never have to test that, but that's like the most important thing to understand, which is the premise to why NFTs are interesting at all.
Right.
In my opinion. To add.
So I would like to dig down into some more use cases and what happened so far and what could happen next. And let's try to frame the discussion a bit. So I've seen, looking at the music space and even the art space, you can categorize, even though I think it's probably possible to NFT whatever. But you have seen good examples in both, like the art, like digital art, which is normally historically always was able to be copied, but here the NFTs took have a great sort of value into sort of making these things actually possible to sort of make unique. And then you have the more of these community building NFTs, where the NFT becomes like this ticket or whatever you can call, like a proof of participation or whatever. I think, and those two have to some extent worked together in a way. And then I would say from our end, where we started was with our crowdfunding model that we have, which was like in the beginning, it was in the normal world of Web 2, where it was a server-based relation. We realized that this technology could be used to make this thing more peer-to-peer. So you could, in the NFT, you could put like a piece of a proof point that you share something with somebody else. So you can share the success. In our case, you can share the revenues coming in from Spotify, for instance. So if you buy this NFT, that prove that you own a piece of this song's revenues for a certain amount of time. So these are the three. And I know you've been checking this for a while. So looking at, what would you say, what was the first step that made this took off? Like, what was the first use case that you saw?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, like my discovery of NFTs, which was a few years ago, really came through like what you would call digital art then. And it was basically, I found the CryptoPunks, which some of you might have heard. It's this collection of 10,000 different people in pixel art style, and it's sort of become this iconic NFT collection. I think it was actually the first NFT collection minted on the Ethereum network, but when doing a deep dive on this, I've seen that there were actually attempts of creating NFTs back in 2015, 16, already. So the need for kind of tokenizing unique assets has been there for a while, but I think that it found a product market fit, so to speak, through art because it's inherently unique. So it was really like a aha moment where, okay, it solves the problem of verifying ownership, it solves the problem of authenticity, and it solves the problem of trading art in a trustless manner. So it was really like ticking all the boxes for that specific use case. And that's why I think it was the first kind of big use case, and it's, to be honest, still stuck there quite a bit. Like when you talk about NFTs with people, they almost always think, you mean digital art or pictures of stuff. So it's been kind of stigmatized actually. But I think there are infinite use cases almost, and I think where we are going next, what we are seeing now a lot when looking at different projects and upcoming companies and the development in the space is moving more towards the world of games. And that's an analogy I've been talking about for a long time. And especially when looking at younger kids like 13, 14-year-old these days, they play all types of games like, Fortnite, Fall Guys, all these different games where you can pay for different skins, so to speak. So you can modify your outfit. Like, okay, now I'm going to have green hair, I'm going to have this sword here. And all you're basically doing is paying a company for giving you a piece of, or lending you a piece of code actually, but those skins are not transferable anywhere, and you're really not able to do much with them. You can resell them, of course, on the marketplace where usually companies take huge cuts, but that's where I'm seeing more and more action in the NFT space, moving towards creating transferable items in games. But I think maybe we jumped a bit quickly from digital art to games there. I'm actually curious to hear your perspective because you have a bit more experience than me in general in life. So I'm wondering, like,
that's true.
What the digital art market looked like when the internet was coming up, because I
wouldn't say. Oh, that's a good question. I can admit that I didn't follow it too close at the time when internet was, but I think the whole thing with internet in the beginning was that everything was about the problem of copy. So the start of like the Pirate Bay and all these kind of services was more like taking away the ownership model from the physical world, where I was participating in the music industry, like CDs were a big product. At the point of internet, CDs became a less big product. Eventually it disappeared. And then the whole model changed from ownership, which was the core business model of music assets before, to access, which is the Spotify model, where you instead pay like a monthly subscription to get access to all music in the world. So, and now all of a sudden the art world, like the visual art world, got back to sort of the NFTs made it possible to sell stuff again. So I think that is, from a music, the first impression I got when I saw the NFT art bubble start to build was like, what could you do? Could this be something you could do within the music again? And of course, the natural first step would be, could you take a song and make an NFT out of the song and sell the song again, like a download? And maybe people have tried that. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, because I probably in this space the access model is actually better. Because when you pay 99 kroners or whatever it costs nowadays on Spotify, and then you get access to like millions or even billions of songs, that's a pretty good deal. So if you compare it to buy one song for, let's say, like $2 or something. So, but what we realized was that the whole idea behind our company in Corite was that that music artists needs to utilize the power of the fans out there. So we realized that maybe this technology could be something that connects fans and artists in a better fashion. And our model is based on the principle: if you invest in something, you probably believe in that song, and then you probably would like to spend some time actually not only listening to it, but maybe spread the word and help the artist in their career building. And this is where I think the next level of NFT makes a lot of sense, because you can of course package something beautiful which could look like a song or a cover art or a video or whatever as a format, basically, because that's what you buy in. But then you could also put it into this NFT contract this little other piece of code which makes it possible to share, for instance, revenue from that asset over a period of time.
Yeah.
Or for perpetuity, if you like that. And then all of a sudden you get another piece of asset that you could trade if you want it, or you can keep it, you can build your collection.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you will see most of the NFT stuff, at least short term, within the music industry. It's probably a new type of content piece, art piece, which combines music. And I think you've been doing a lot of nice, or followed at least a lot of nice collaborations between music artists and visual artists, where they do NFTs together. So it includes both a music component and an art component. Yeah. But what I think will make even more sense when you can put on this kind of community component, where people sometimes they maybe have a piece of the revenue, but it could also just be like a digital fan club. I'm part of the first 2,000 people that discovered this artist, and that will give me benefits and utility for life. Yeah, that could be a nice way for an artist to start building their community of the people that actually love what they're doing. So give them sort of proof of ownership of I've been there since the get-go, basically. So I think, but I don't think I've seen more than like 1-2% of the applications that will happen. But maybe to make it a bit more sort of visual and real, we should try to dig down into some examples. I know you've been working with this guy, Harrison First, for instance, who I think is a very interesting music producer and artist that has been exploring this for a while, and I've done some great stuff with you. Could you elaborate a bit what he's been doing? Because he's come from like a kind of small space, like independent, so he's not one of the huge artists that created like a massive NFT and sold it for a crazy amount of dollars. He's more like working from the community. Yeah,
I mean, he's a really interesting character. I highly recommend anyone watching to go follow him and check him out. He's been creating NFTs since I think 2019, and he's done, I wouldn't say most of the things you can do, but a lot of things for sure. Like he has his own social token, the Harrison token, and then he's done a bunch of video NFTs in like how do you say it, in the coinciding with his music video drops, not coincidentally but on purpose. And he's done music NFTs and he's done membership NFTs. So I think, he's been experimenting a lot. He's had huge success because of that, because he's been curious. And I think what you mentioned there, even talking about Spotify, like the access model, I think that powered by NFTs is transferable to individuals and artists and creators. So when I watched people talk about how to build an online business with your following and so on, they often talk about, you don't need 100,000 followers, you need like 3,000 followers that are willing to pay for stuff, which is entirely true. But instead, think about using NFTs, access NFTs, to productize a relationship with you and create a more personal experience. Because as we said earlier, like the thing with NFTs is that they can't be transferred or deleted or taken away from someone. If you hold an NFT, of course you can send it somewhere else, but no one can take it from you. So imagine if then Harrison, as an artist, releases 100 NFTs for his 100 most dedicated fans. Let's say put them up on an auction. Okay, you go, you participate, you pick one up. 20 years later, he can still log on to the blockchain and see that you are holding that NFT and can reward you accordingly. You can build different experiences around those NFTs. So I think access tokens and tokens working as kind of a social signifier that you are in a club or supporting some certain person have also had a huge product market fit. And that's what you see with probably, like most of you have heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like they are not really related around an artist, but they are like a huge social signifier to display that you are a part of this club of Bored Apes. I'm speaking at a conference in next month, and I was looking at the fellow speakers, and most of them are using their Bored Ape as the speaker page profile pictures, and that kind of shows how integrated it has become into normal life. And I'm seeing it on LinkedIn as well, which is something I actually didn't think I would a few years ago. Yeah, you're right. I think that's
I think that's what's inspired me the most. If this technology could help artists in whatever genre to sort of connect better with the people that love their art, and sort of also make it possible for the people that actually love the art to get closer to whoever is producing what they love. So I think that is that's really interesting. And to your point, to make that a bit more like decentralized, is not depending on a certain company that helps you with a service that all of a sudden gets unpopular or change algorithms or whatever. It's something like you can build over time. And there is a lot of theories about these 3,000 or 1,000 people, but that's pretty much the volume you need to create like a sustainable business if you have enough people that actually really do love what you're doing. So I think that's interesting. I think we had a very exciting project last year where we started to try these things out together with a fairly huge artist named Alan Walker, Norwegian DJ. And he's been very good in working together with his fans over the years and pretty much built his career on doing so without NFT technology. But he has this concept of walkers. So the core fans are walkers, and they have a limited number of numbered walkers out there that have been working. And now he wanted to use the NFT technology and blockchain to sort of get that to the next level. So we just did a couple of projects last year together. And one of them was an interesting mix, because he has these 3 amazing songs that made him famous in the beginning, and he did it organically. He started up in his bedroom, basically producing house music, and he became famous on YouTube because his 3 tracks, Force, Spectre, and Fade, was super popular for gamers who was playing, and there was now no vocals, like instrumental versions. And then his manager found him, and they got signed to Sony, and they created Faded, which is his massive hits with like billions of streams over. But now with us, he released these originals once again, and then we also created like 3 videos, 1 to each song, and we chopped them up into small pieces of like 6 seconds versions. So every NFT is like a little art piece of 6 seconds of video. So on one end, it's a piece of art because there's not a limited version of each of them. But also we included that when this video is streamed on YouTube, all people that hold this NFT will get a piece of the revenue coming in from YouTube streams. So, and that was in this case just a bonus, because it's like it's not too much money coming in from YouTube on these kind of things, but still it's a kind of fun. But to your point, the real value here is what Alan now want to do with this, because now he has thousands of people holding this little NFT, and he knows that, so he can start working with these fellows and do stuff over time. It could probably work in like years from now. So I think that's still to be explored a bit, because I don't think we have seen not even close on what you actually can do. But you said something else as well. This curiosity here is super important, because I think it's a huge opportunity for music artists right now. If you compare, we always talk about this 100,000 songs that are released on Spotify every single day. So the competition releasing music is crazy. I wouldn't say it's too much competition right now in the music NFT space. So if you are curious, like Harrison was like a couple of years ago, there's still room for a lot of newcomers, initiatives, and new ideas. And I think you said something else when we did a pre-talk, that this whole blockchain community and NFT community is super open for collaborations. So you can pretty much direct message to one of the big ones in the community and ask for stuff or ask for collaborations, and you will probably get an answer. If you compare to try to send the song to Max Martin and asking for a production, that won't happen. So it's like it's really a new business. And so I wanted to use that to get into the next subject, which is about how the hell do you do this? So if you are curious as an artist today, so who can help you, or what are the tools? How could you explain how you actually set up a simple NFT?
Absolutely. So creating an NFT is really easy. You can basically log on to OpenSea with your wallet. Well, of course, you need to create a wallet first. Now, see, I'm too used to this.
So back up. So what's a wallet?
A wallet, exactly. So that's basically where you hold your keys to access your NFTs and other cryptocurrencies and tokens. So you need to have that first. That's like a must-have to be able to create or interact with NFTs.
So how can you get the wallet then?
That's pretty simple to install. It's usually a browser plugin. So for Chrome, you will have this little pop-up here. You click on it and then you can log in. And when you go to a wallet provider, like for example MetaMask, you install the plugin. You will get a seed phrase of 12 words, and write those down on paper. Put them away. With those words, you can always unlock your wallet if you forget your password or something. Okay, well, you have a wallet now. Then you need to fund that wallet with cryptocurrency. So you have to go to a broker. Like in Sweden, we have Safello, which is quite good. Globally, you have something like Coinbase, which is very recognized and publicly listed in the US, very trustworthy. You can go in there and buy crypto with your credit card. It's super easy. And then you send that to your wallet. You'll have your wallet has a specific address that is for your wallet only. It's like a personal ID number, publicly viewable, and so anyone can send stuff to it, but you can't really do anything with it other than receive stuff. Okay, now we have a wallet, a crypto exchange. We send crypto to the wallet. Then we can go and exactly,
which is a big marketplace for NFTs.
The biggest NFT marketplace, and you can upload a picture or file of any sort and create an NFT. But here's the thing: like doing that is really not valuable in any way, because there are thousands of other people doing that every day. So you have to be kind of specific about what the NFT is about, what the art is about, and you have to find your audience outside of OpenSea. So you still have to have a following, a community, basically a loyal following base. You can't just upload something and hope someone will buy it. Maybe someone will, but most likely someone won't. And what, in my opinion, is valuable with NFTs is also the creativity that you can put into the code, and that's where the hard part comes in. Creating an NFT on OpenSea will be really basic, just an NFT with a picture, but you can make it as advanced as you wish and as automated as you wish with different pieces of code. And those tools are really not available yet for artists, and that's why companies like us exist. We help people with actually programming and creating more advanced projects. But I will say this: I've been looking into those tools ever since I got into the space, and they are really developing with light speed. So I think in 1 to 2 years, we're going to have really good tools at creating super advanced NFTs without knowing how to code. It's not really there yet. So that's kind of how you get involved. And then what do you actually do? Well, I would highly recommend you to just buy some NFTs from some other community. Do a bit of research, see what happens. Buy some NFTs from a membership community and join and start talking to people. As Mattias said, people are really open to talk, to learn together, to help. I frequently DMs like some of the most prominent people in the space, and they respond to me, which is like baffling, because I'm not really an authority internationally in the NFT space. I might be one maybe in the Nordics, but it's still crazy how open people are, especially in this time when the market hasn't been doing so well. You could argue that more authentic people are left, and I don't know what kind of image it has in the public, but it's a really welcoming and open space. So the most important thing, in my opinion, if you want to get involved, is to actually get a wallet and do something online. That's what we always do with our clients that have never worked with NFTs. First, we have them interact with blockchain-based technologies. After that, just join a community, tweet at some people, DM some people, and just be humble and be willing to learn and be willing to explore and make mistakes, because you're definitely gonna make some mistakes, and that's okay. Nothing critical. Don't put millions onto your wallet the first time you install one. Just be careful and explore, mess around with different technologies.
I agree. So I think like one key element here is like there are people that could help you, both companies like you guys, but also Corite. we have one concept of NFTs, which is about sharing revenues with your audience, and then like create a community around the backers, as we call them. So in just a month from now, we will launch a new version of our product, which is about doing pretty much what we're doing today, but with an NFT instead. That is one way to get to it, of course, because then you only have to think about your music, and we will help you with the rest. I think one other aspect is that, as you mentioned, the visual art and visual artist has been within this space a bit longer than musicians. So I would claim that there's several of great visual artists out there that already knows how to do NFTs and have done it several times. And I think that could be one of those easy collaboration opportunities that's out there. So if you're a music artist with great songs, I would bet that a lot of people out there that are visual artists would love to collaborate with you, because that's doing music videos or whatever new format of visual art that you could potentially imagine with a great song could add value to that. And then you can start doing things together. I know this Harrison guy that we mentioned, he's done a lot of those things where he's the musician, and he worked with other people around him that created like amazing things, which is pieces of art, including music and visuals. So I think that's the opportunity. I think we actually talked about it before, but I think we should do that. We want to do like an easy stunt, just setting up some kind of a collaboration space. We will pick a media, maybe WhatsApp or Twitter or something, that where we just create a space for you guys to, if you want to ask questions or find other people that want to try things out, or if you have a great song that you're looking for a visual artist, or vice versa. I think these are the forums that you need to sort of start visiting and trying to sort of find people around you that could help you with technology, of course, product concepts, but also the pure art thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add to that if anyone watching has any specific questions, you can just literally DM me on Twitter or LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help you get started and answer your questions as well.
Same here, of course. So you can use the channel you're in right now if you want to comment. We have a great community manager sitting super alert to answer any kind of questions or sort of hook you up with people afterwards. So looking back for the years that you've been examining this amazingly developing space, what could you mention a couple of like great examples? You have mentioned the punks and the Bored Apes, of course, but in the music space, have you seen anything which stands out?
Absolutely. I think in the music space, I was really impressed with the whole royalty revenue sharing NFTs movement, so to speak. And we have a few companies here in Sweden actually that are involved in the space. And I think that was a really interesting use case, because it really made things simpler and more transparent. It was like a real it was a real clear use case. But beyond that, I would say that the coolest things I've seen in the music space are definitely what I would call fan NFTs, where artists give out certain NFTs to fans that help them get closer to the artist, and they build different experiences around those NFTs. And it could really be something as simple as, the holders of this 20 NFTs get to have dinner with me once a year, for example. It really is simple. Like, people appreciate that more than you would ever imagine, and are willing to pay for that as well. Not that it should only be a financial incentive, but I think in the music niche, that's some of the coolest stuff I've seen. Then, of course, you mentioned as well the collaborations where you put together visual art with music. I think those have a really good use case as you inherently have the visual component of NFTs, and that's kind of what people like to see. And in talks with several companies that are now developing new types of screens to be able to display NFTs in a more higher resolution. And there's companies that are out there renting NFTs to different places with screens. So I think we're really only in the beginning of seeing like where the integration into the physical space can end up. I think those would be the best use cases I've seen when it comes to music specifically. And as I mentioned earlier, I think it might be a bit hard to grasp, but the fact that NFTs are customizable to basically the end of your imagination with code is what makes it really cool. So just to give an example, you could create an NFT, a visual NFT that changes, the visual aspect changes as your song gets more streams on Spotify, for example. It can be interconnected with almost anything on the internet as long as you're skilled to program it, which is why we exist. But as I said, I think those tools will get better and better. So if you start exploring it now and just get into the space, it will be way easier for you to actually be creative and create new experiences, new types of art and expression once those tools become more and more available.
That's cool. So yeah, that was a good pitch. Maybe we should work together here, Vincent, like, and do stuff. Like, I think that it's kind of cool that the whole music industry has always been about, like, you know, awards. You want to win the Grammys. You want to have the platinum sale, and then you get this platinum plaque that you can put up to the wall. And for instance, in our case, of course, with this sort of new developed, more sort of rich NFTs, you could imagine that you buy the NFT first and you invest in a song that you like, and then all of a sudden it reached the gold level, and all of the whole design is changed, and then it becomes gold, and then all of a sudden it's a platinum, and then you have a platinum, and then you have 10 platinum, so you can brag about your platinum collections of different types of NFTs that you have. So all these kind of things will add on to the sort of,
That's a great idea, actually. I'm kind of fired up to build it now.
So let's think about those things. So I think, but that's the cool part. This is it's called, the whole thing is called Web 3, and like just as Web 1 once was very sort of a bit boring. You could search for information, that was great, and then somebody came up with the idea that they could put up pictures as well. It became a bit more fun, and then all of a sudden somebody created like the social network, and then you call it Web 2.0, and all of a sudden people started to connect it in new ways, and now comes this ownership thingy, which of course is just in the like early stage. And I think also, on the bad note, the last couple of years has been a lot about investing in NFTs to make short money. And I think that this, of course, was a bubble for a couple. It was a new thing, and it bubbled up, and then it bursts. So I think, to your point, now we will see more genuine projects coming in, building values in what it's basically supposed to be, which is probably real art that you actually want to own, and then potentially could sell for some kind of profit later on. But also this community things, I think that's where it makes most sense, actually, on a long term. And the real profit, it needs to be, if you want to make profit on NFT, it's probably other values than just a pure NFT. Just like if you have a profit share of something, it could be, of course, a song, it could be a business, it could be anything, actually. So I think that is the next step of crowdfunding in general, to open up for the masses to actually invest in stuff that only the rich guys can invest in right now. So that is a long-term vision, I would say, of this technology, to sort of strip it down to people that could own stuff that actually has the potential of growing in value.
I totally agree.
So what have we missed? Is it anything that you think we should bring up today? Because this is, of course, a conversation that could go on forever, but I think we covered the basics at least. What's it all about? How to get started? Some cases around there, and of course the opportunity. But I really urge people to start trying, because I kind of notice a bit of a frustration in the artist community right now because of the current space we live in, because the competition is so hard. There's so much music delivered, so you need to find the unique stuff that you could do. This is one of them. So I think being like on top of new technology in a space like music is important, because it's always been like that. Like, for all new social media, like Justin Bieber, he was really good at YouTube. That helped him, and then came like the Instagram. So we had a bunch of artists that made it through that channel, and then now it's TikTok in the social media. And I think you're always late on the train when you start to see the success already. I think the NFTs is not that yet. So if you're really good at NFTs, you will probably be able, if you do it right and work hard, you can build your community from scratch and actually start your career building real value. And that's I think you need to be a bit nerdy and tech savvy to get started. But if you're prepared to take those hours, I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely. And I think, the way you said it, it's actually another way of looking at NFTs is a communication channel.
Yeah.
And the only thing, just like Web 1 was kind of boring with all protocols and stuff, this is also quite kind of boring if you're not into tech, because there are so many buzzwords, so many abbreviations, like different terminologies that are highly technical. But basically what I'm trying to say is that the user interfaces that are going to enable this technology in a mass adoption scale are still being built, but they're coming. So if you can push yourself to just interact and explore the technology right now, I think you have a chance to build something very unique and potentially change the course of the direction of your life.
That was a good end note. Let's change your life to a more positive direction over time using new technology. Yeah, so I think that wraps it up actually today. So I'm happy to have you back here in a year or so, see what we're developing is heading and what kind of cool projects we have built over the time. So thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you, Mattias. It was a pleasure. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.